I've already made a video talking about the most popular shock websites and screamers, such as the infamous Utter Tires commercial and the legendary Keffi ads. But the reality is, these shock websites are barely scratching the surface. We may put these videos on a pedestal because we grew up on those screamers. Now, for this video, we'll be going deeper into the iceberg and talk about some of the most disturbing shock videos of all time. These are no longer innocent jump scare videos that you would show to your younger siblings. This is straight up gore, and in some cases, illegal. But before we get into the darker side of shock videos, let's talk about One Guy, One Brush, which is still probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever covered on my channel. This video surfaced in the early months of 2008, originally hosted on a small shock site called OneGuyOneBrush.com, before later being hosted on BestShockers.com. The identity of the man in the video has never been confirmed, and the true origin of the clip remains unclear. According to a description once posted on the original site, the creators claimed to be the same people behind Two Girls One Cup, stating that they had paid the man $2,000 to perform what was shown. From the original creators of the Two Girls One Cup website comes this new site where the original masterminds paid this young fellow $2,000 to do the actions presented on the video. If you have any questions, email oneguyonebrush@gmail.com. The 39-second video is simple, yet extremely disgusting. A man films himself in front of an unflushed toilet, takes a toothbrush, scrapes it through the feces in the bowl, and then brushes his teeth with it while gagging repeatedly. The clip ends with him looking into the camera and saying, "The fucking shit people do for money." Although we have no idea who the man is in the video, we do know that the people behind the Two Girls One Cup website made the shock video. Unless that was a lie, but that's the closest I can get to its origins. In November 2021, a disturbing video featuring a man hurting an adult female dog and her 9 pups leaked onto gore forums. The reason why I say leaked is because these were initially shared in private zoosadistic Telegram chats before someone took it public. I will not go into detail about what the video contains because it's extremely unsettling, and truth be told, I probably couldn't stomach reading the full description. To summarize it, a naked man took 9 pups, killed them in different ways, R-worded the pups, fed some of the remains to the mother, and finally killed the mother. Yeah, that sounds awful, but if you read the actual descriptions, it's way worse. These were originally posted as 10 separate clips, but when combined, the total runtime is 15 minutes. Since this involves animals, finding the actual video is hard, and I don't recommend any of you guys to look for it, because it's actually illegal to distribute, and I have not seen the video myself, which I'm glad. When I first heard about this video, I thought it would be nearly impossible to find its origins, but luckily someone had already traced everything and posted it on the Screamer wiki. That's how people identified the man responsible. It was made by 52-year-old Adam Britton, a former zoologist who gained worldwide infamy when he was convicted of multiple criminal offenses, including animal abuse, zoophilia, zoosadism, bestiality, and possession of child essay material. In September 2023, he was charged with 56 counts related to sexual abuse, torture, and killing of dogs, along with possession of the worst category of child exploitation material. Adam pled guilty to all charges in August 2024 and was sentenced to 10 years and 5 months in prison. After Adam was identified, the next step was figuring out how the footage actually spread online. The One Bitch 9 Pups video series first appeared on the private gore forum Death Addict after an unknown user leaked the clips. Until that point, the footage had only existed inside a closed Telegram zoosadist group. On March 1st, 2022, a Telegram user named Jordan accessed that private chat, downloaded nearly all the clips, and reposted them to the gore site Goreflix, where the thread quickly gained attention. A few weeks later, another user known as Dreadderf found the same videos, recovered the 2 missing clips, and compiled the entire series into a completed file. On March 22nd, using the username CoolGnomeChannel, he uploaded the full compilation to GoreDB in hopes someone would identify the person responsible. The post gained over 6,500 views before being taken down. As the compilation spread, it moved into communities like Kiwi Farms and several not safe for work subreddits, where even regular Gore viewers described it as overwhelmingly disturbing. About a week after it appeared, GoreDB removed the video for violating its animal cruelty policy. GoreFlix still had 8 clips available to members, but by late June the site updated its rules to ban posts involving zoosadism, bestiality, and similar material, which caused the thread to be removed entirely. Despite this, short fragments continue showing up on other sites, including Deadhouse. In April 2022, the Northern Territory Joint Anti-Child Exploitation Team received a tip about the footage and opened an investigation. On April 22nd, just 2 days after the search begun, officers from JSET and the Australian Federal Police located Adam Britton at his property in McMinn's Lagoon. A search of his house uncovered a large archive of animal abuse material, including the One Bitch 9 Pups recordings. Britton was arrested and initially charged with 15 counts of aggravated animal cruelty and 2 counts of bestiality. As investigators dug deeper, the number of charges expanded dramatically, eventually reaching 213. He remained in custody and appeared in Darwin local court on April 26, but many details were suppressed due to the severity of the crimes. His identity was supposed to be revealed in June, then in July, but the court postponed it each time because the case was considered so abhorrent. The suppression order was finally lifted in September 2023, and in August 2024, he was officially sentenced to 10 years and 5 months, with a minimum of 6 years before parole eligibility, backdated to April 2022. He was permanently banned from owning or keeping mammals for the rest of his life. Rest in peace to all the animals he hurt, but if you ask me, he should have gotten a few life sentences instead. CamelSlaughter.mp4 first became known online because of a bait-and-switch trend on Roblox. Users would post the link in disguise as something harmless and trick other members into clicking it, turning the video into one of the more infamous pieces of troll bait on the platform. This video showcases a camel being slaughtered. It picked up even more attention years later when Toasty mentioned it in his Roblox icepick video. A creepypasta based on the clip was even written in 2021, shortly before the iceberg was released, though that entry was eventually removed in 2023. For a long time, most people only knew the video as the Roblox bait link, but not much else. There was no clear explanation of where it came from, who filmed it, or why it existed. But when you trace it back far enough, you eventually find the real source. The original upload wasn't tied to Roblox at all. It came from a YouTube channel belonging to this user, and the footage was recorded inside a Saudi Arabian slaughterhouse. The video itself is a standard slaughterhouse recording showing workers restraining and killing a camel using routine but disturbing procedures. The title card, Camel Slaughtering, was included in the original upload, along with a warning about graphic content. From there, someone found the clip, ripped it, and began reposting it out of context, eventually turning it into a shock link that spread across the Roblox community. This next one is a weird one because it involves YouTuber Blippi. Yeah, the children's entertainer who talks about animals, vehicles, and uses hands-on learning to educate children. Before his kid-friendly persona existed, Stephen John went by Steezy Grossman, a name he used while making intentionally vulgar comedy videos. The most infamous of these was a shock site project called Harlem Shake Poop, a single video website built during the peak of the Harlem Shake meme in 2013. The site is now long gone, but at the time it hosted a very gross video. The video begins with his logo and then cuts to John in a bathroom doing the Harlem Shake. When the beat drops, another guy appears, where John climbs onto the toilet and defecates onto the other man as part of the shock video. That's right, Blippi shatted on another guy back in 2013. However, the video was censored. Later on, the site charged to promote an alleged uncensored version, along with behind-the-scenes extras sold for $2.99, marked down from its original $19.99 price tag. That page can be viewed today because it's excluded from the Wayback Machine, leaving only partial screenshots floating around online. Today, Stephen John is known worldwide as Blippi, one of YouTube's biggest children's entertainers. He repeatedly said he regrets ever making Harlem Shake Poop and has issued takedowns whenever copies of the video reappears. For most parents discovering this old chapter of his life, it's a shock. A bizarre past from before he reinvented himself into the family-friendly figure millions of kids watch now. Also, this isn't me hating on Blippi, and it's good that he changed for the better. And he definitely chose a better career path than making shock videos and selling them for $2.99. On May 25, 2012, a disturbing shock video was posted online of someone dismembering a body and getting intimate with the torso. This video is referred to as One Lunatic, One Icepick. The video appeared staged because the killer treated the killing like if it was some type of performance. He played the 1987 song Truth Faith in the background of the video, positioned the camera at an angle, and moved in a way that looked rehearsed. The weapon he used was actually a screwdriver, but he chose it because it resembled an ice pick, which is why the video became known as One Lunatic, One Icepick. The production also contained multiple film references: American Psycho, which the killer often imitated and even echoed by calling himself Canadian Psycho, and Basic Instinct, reflected in both the icepick motif and his use of the alias Kirk Trammell, a play on the character Catherine Trammell. His computer login name was even Catherine Trammell. All of these choices, the music, alias, props, and movie references, made the recording look intentionally stylized, as if the killer wanted to resemble a movie scene rather than a real crime. The case began the day before, when a Craigslist ad appeared on May 24th seeking a young man to act in a private film. The ad was answered by John Lynn, a 33-year-old international student living in Montreal. He met the poster Luka Magnotta at a McDonald's before going with Luka to his apartment, where the killing occurred shortly afterward. Luka drugged John, recorded the crime, and produced the video that would circulate online within hours. Early reports to authorities about the video were dismissed, and John was not reported missing until May 29th. The following days revealed the scope of the crime. Packages containing human remains were mailed to multiple political offices and 2 Vancouver schools, while the torso was discovered in a suitcase behind Luka's apartment building. Surveillance footage captured Luka repeatedly visiting the dumpster area throughout the night of the crime, carrying bags and a suitcase later found to contain the torso. Investigators found blood evidence throughout the unit and items linking Luka to the scene. John's head was not recovered until July 2nd, when an anonymous tip led police to a Montreal park. Toxicology showed John had been sedated, and the autopsy suggested he died from significant blood loss caused by wounds to his neck. Due to the conditions of the remains, investigators could not determine the order in which many injuries occurred. Behavioral analysts described Luka as someone who staged the killing as a performance, methodical attention-seeking, and driven by narcissistic traits. Luka had a documented history of sending threats online months before the crime, which prosecutors later used to argue premeditation. By the time the investigation identified Luka as the suspect, he had already fled Canada using a fraudulent passport and traveled to Europe. Interpol issued a red notice on May 31st, and public identification of John followed on June 1st. Luka was ultimately found in an internet cafe in Berlin on June 4th, where he was arrested while reading news articles about himself. After initially giving false names, Luka admitted his identity. He was extradited to Canada and charged with first-degree murder, identity to a body, disturbing obscene material, sending indecent items, and criminal harassment to government officials. Luka's defense argued he was not criminally responsible due to mental illness, claiming delusions and command hallucinations, Prosecutors countered with evidence that Luka carefully planned the crime, staged and filmed it intentionally, and mailed packages to guarantee maximum attention. After a lengthy trial, the jury rejected the insanity defense, and on December 23, 2014, Luka was found guilty on all charges and received a life sentence. Thank you guys for watching till the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, you will love this one right here, and if you're new here, consider subscribing if you want more content.